Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar. We'll give everyone 5 minutes just to settle in and then we'll get started. Okay everyone, so let's get started. So first of all, welcome everyone to our webinar today. Um, the title of the webinar is How to Get Finance Experience Before You Graduate. And it's organized by School of Economics and Finance, Queen Mary University of London. So we are part of Queen Mary, And following the university global reputation, we have been consistently in the world's top 50 and top 100 in our field. And in our master's program, we focus on employability and practical skills with modules taught by industry professionals, extensive career support services, and extracurricular professional development activities to help you gain experience while at school, which would be things that you will learn through this webinar. We currently have 9 master's programs from economics, finance to wealth management. In some of our master's programs, we offer trainings for CFA exams as part of our curriculum, and we even offer a year in industry, which offers you a chance to gain work experience while studying for your degree. We also offer a wide range of scholarships for our master's programs. Most of these scholarships are automatically awarded to eligible applicants. And for more information about our school, our programs, and our scholarships, you can visit our website through this QR code. You registering for this webinar, the series, and our next webinar will be this Thursday, 18 June, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. UK time. And in that webinar with Dr. Danielle Bianchi from School of Economics and Finance, we will discuss about how AI will change, complement, or take over our role in the financial industry beyond the headlines. So, without further ado, please welcome our speakers today. We have Emelyn, our Student Professional Development Coordinator, Claudio, our lecturer in Finance Education, Professor Alfonsina, and Louis Wiley from AmplifyME, who is a partner in a professional development module in our master's program. So we'll start with a presentation by Emelyn. So the stage is yours.
Thank you, Nam. Give me a second, bear with me. I'm just going to share my slides. Yes, hopefully that's working for everyone. I think I've done that right. Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. As my colleague Nam said, so my name is Emelyn. I'm a Student Professional Development Coordinator here at Queen Mary University of London, and I'm here to talk to you today about how you'll be able to gain finance experience during your studies at Queen Mary. So let's just move on to the next slide. Actually, I should have started by sharing my other slide because I thought we could start with a Mentimeter activity. So let me just share this slide. Screen. There we go. Nam, if you're able to pop this in the chat as well, just so people can access it easily, be helpful. But in case you can't see it on the screen, I've got a Mentimeter code 16215977. If you guys wouldn't mind joining that, I thought we could start with a lovely icebreaker activity, just so I can understand what you guys are looking for. Thank you, Nam. And if you wouldn't mind popping the code in there as well, just so people can copy and paste it, just so we can understand what you're looking for. Perfect. Thank you, Nam. I'll give people a couple of seconds to join. I can see, oh, actually you guys are fast. I can see all 4 of you have already joined. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first activity I put in is just a word cloud. So what's the first word that comes to mind when you think of a career in finance? There's no right or wrong answer here. You could say, I don't know, money, ambition, I don't know, fast moving. What do you think a career in finance will look like? I'll give people just a couple minutes. Profit. Oh, very good. I'll just give you a minute or two to respond. Banking. Nice. Dynamic. Management. Cool. Just a couple more seconds in case anyone has any extra words to contribute. I think 4 out of 6 people have already responded. Nice. High intensity. I think we have lots of people speaking about finance and careers in finance today, but definitely whether you're talking about trading, these are definitely things that you'll encounter in a career in finance. Oh, a couple of people said banking, trading, dynamic. Yeah, absolutely. Let me move on to the next slide now. International markets, very good. Maybe from a few international candidates who might be in the room with us. So based on what you've been saying, obviously a lot of you are looking to get into a career of finance, hence why you're at this webinar today. But as of right now, how confident are you in securing that finance-related role? Somewhat confident, that's pretty good. Nice. Someone is not very confident at all, but that's okay. That's why you're looking at MSc degree. Yeah, so quite a range really. Some people not knowing where to start, some people being kind of moderately confident, but no one who is, 5 out of 5 ready to go. Nice. Thanks everyone. That was really helpful. That's useful for me to know as well as I go into my presentation. So I'm just going to go back to my slides now. But thank you for taking part in that. Just go to full screen. Hopefully you can see this. Perfect. So I thought I would start today's presentation by talking to you about what our graduates at Queen Mary School of Economics and Finance typically go on to do. So lots of different jobs here, such as being a financial analyst, finance advisor, all these typical job terms that you might have seen before, but also a few broader jobs that you might not have considered before, such as being a management consultant. So obviously, all of you will come out from School of Economics and Finance with an MSc degree in finance, but that also means that you can broaden your horizons. If you decide that, oh, maybe a job in finance is not for me, the door is always open to become something a bit more general, such as being a management consultant. So just putting that option out there. But here are some jobs that students who have graduated from our 22-23 cohort have gone on to become. So I'm going to talk you through a few different ways that you can gain finance experience while you're completing your studies with us at Queen Mary. So starting with what Nam, my colleague Nam has already mentioned, which is our PG year in industry. So this is a full-time 2-year master's degree. So some of you might have heard of the concept of a placement year. So this is typically something that students will do during their undergraduate program. Maybe some of you here have even done it yourselves, but this is our version of that, but within a master's degree. So this is a brand new program, something we're really excited to help launch. But how does it work? So you come in your first year and you complete your master's degree in terms of the study and the preparation, but built into that preparation time are embedded employability modules where you will be completing workshops, one-to-one coaching, and prep and understanding on how you can actually apply for a placement and interview successfully with an employer to secure that placement at the end of your first year. So you will have a dedicated placement search period with dedicated support from our university as well. And provided you are successful in securing a placement, that means that the second year of your MSc degree will be completing that placement, which will typically be a full-time paid role lasting anywhere between 8 months to a full year. And of course, you have the choice of what placements you want to apply to. If you are completing your master's with us, masters with us at the School of Economics and Finance, most likely is going to be in a role aligned with finance. But yeah, it is a fantastic way for you to gain experience. A lot of international students think of this quite strategically as well, because if you think about having this extra 1 year to complete a placement before you go into, for example, your graduate visa, which will just give you 18 months, it just extends the period of time that you can work in the UK to gain that industry experience if that's something that you're looking for. More information can be found on the website. Now I believe that students will get these slides. Yeah, I'm sure you can email them over, but if not, I can share them after the webinar is done today as well. Just moving on to the next slide, we've also got a brand new dissertation in industry, which we have launched this year. So this is an opportunity for students to undertake dissertation research with a real-life company with topics such as AI and finance, ESG analytics, market structure. You can see them laid out on the slide there. So this is a fairly competitive process. So rather than completing, your typically research-based dissertation, you can do something a bit more industry-based. But as I said, it's slightly competitive, so there will be an application process, and then based on the shortlisting for that, the employers will step in and they might need to even interview candidates to take it further. But really exciting for students to get the chance to work with a real-life employer and be based in your offices as well and get mentoring from that employer. So that's just another option for you to gain kind of industry experience before you graduate. Okay, moving on to my next slide. So we've got our wonderful AmplifyME expert, Lewis, who is going to talk you through everything AmplifyME. So I'm not going to say too much about it, but I did want to include some lovely pictures. So AmplifyME is our university partner, and they provide practical simulations to help you understand what it's like to work in global markets, investment banking, and quantitative finance. So just now from the word cloud, I saw that people were saying things like investment banking or trading. So a lot of people obviously understand these keywords and understand that they might want to get into a job that involves these. But actually, a lot of students will tell me, I want to get into markets, investment banking, but I don't actually understand day to day what that would involve, right? So what does it mean to be an investment banker? And that's where AmplifyMe simulations will come in. So Lewis will give you a demonstration later, but just to say that we have AmplifyMe pathways embedded into our MSc programs, so you will complete it as part of your studies, and you can have access to these pathways extracurricular, so you have 24/7 during your MSc as well. The pictures on the slide are from some fantastic events that we've run throughout the year. So the one on the left is from a panel event where we had 4 Queen Mary alumni come in and talk about how they were able to use AmplifyMe simulations to get a foot in the industry and help them secure the jobs that they have now. And if you get identified as a HPC, high performing candidate, high potential candidate, sorry, you might even get invited to employer sessions, such as the one at Morgan Stanley, which a few of our Queen Mary students were invited to a few months ago. So we also have Professor Alfonsina, who will be talking more about QUMMIF, so I'm not going to tell you too much as she can explain all the details, but basically it's a fantastic opportunity for you to have responsibility for over £40,000 of investments. If you're interested in trading, as I know some of you are, you sit in the word cloud, portfolio analysis, getting real world experience, basically I really encourage you to take part in it, and many students find it immensely helpful to talk about it in future interviews and application processes. So more details to come. Stay tuned for that. Just to quickly talk about QUMMIF as well. So this is open to both undergraduates and postgraduates from the School of Economics and Finance. What it is that it's a chance for you to take on a real project from a real life organization, and you can work under a qualified, experienced professional to work in a team and present financial advice back to the client. So you can see fantastic opportunity to gain experience in terms of what is it like to actually speak to a client? What is it like to pitch a proposal to them, to handle that client meeting, those emails? What is it like to work in a professional space and get mentored by someone who is obviously a professional, has worked in a long time within that space? So yeah, lots of training involved with that, report writing, funding support, client etiquette, and of course a chance to work in a group and then present your advice back to the client. That's QUMMIF. And finally, just to wrap up, just to say that within the School of Economics and Finance, we are really looking to support you during your time here. We know that not everyone will have come into your MSc degree from a finance background, hence why you're attending this webinar. But we really want to make sure that while you're studying with us, we can make sure that we are telling you all the information you need to know to break into that industry of your choice. So we run lots of finance exclusive workshops. You can see some examples listed on the slide. Finance Careers Explained, Women in Finance panel. I've also got a picture there from our JP Morgan Careers Insight Day, which was held just a couple of weeks ago, where 150 Queen Mary students were able to go to JP Morgan head office in Canary Wharf, speak to JP Morgan associates, learn a little bit more about the application process, just so they can stand out a little bit more. So lots of finance exclusive events, and also we have support from our fantastic careers and enterprise team, who also host webinars, events, careers fairs year round, such as job hunting in the UK, how you can improve your CV, cover letter application, basically all the support you need through every stage of your application process. If anyone is here from an international background, maybe you're not from the UK, this might be your first time applying for jobs in the UK. We also have lots of international student support as well, such as bringing international alumni who are successfully based in the industry back to Queen Mary, so you can speak to them a little bit more, understand what the visa process is like, how were they successful, what are some challenges that they had, and how you can overcome them for yourself. So lots and lots of careers and enterprise support, and lots of support from us at Queen Mary School of Economics and Finance as well. So once again, more information linked on the slide. Any slides will be available for you to check out in more detail after as well. So I appreciate that I've just been talking at you for, more than 5 minutes. But I just wanted to say that we do have a whole webpage dedicated to professional development. So if you want to find out more, go to School and Finance Professional Skills. Once again, link on the slide. Does anyone have any questions? Let me just check the Q&A. Not yet, but don't worry, I'll stick around. So if you have no questions right now, but you think of one later, I'm happy to answer it, whether through the chat, the Q&A function, anything else. I think that's everything I had for today. Yeah, that was my last slide. So I'm just going to hand over back to Nam.
Yes, thank you, Emelyn, for the presentation. And yes, please stay on as we will have a Q&A session at the end, towards the end of the webinar. So I know that we are doing this virtually, but yeah, please give a round of applause to Emelyn. Okay, so we all know that CFA is a very important professional certificate to help anyone who aspire to break into the financial industry. And we do offer training for that in our programs at School of Economics and Finance. And so for more details about this, I'm going to hand it over to Claudio, who is our expert in this. So yeah, please welcome Claudio.
Hello, everyone. So let me start share the slide with you. Okay. Okay, can you see? Okay, so hello everyone. So and thank you very much for joining the webinar. I'm Claudio, and I'm a lecturer in finance education here at QUMMIF. So what I want to do in this presentation, I just want to present you a little bit about the CFA programs within the School of Economics and Finance. So I want to start with the question and the title of this webinar. So how do I get finance experience before I graduate? So in this moment, so the finance sector is highly competitive, and employers are increasingly looking for candidates who combines academic excellence but also professional skills. And the CFA is the answer to that. That is going to help you in that. And so let's see how. So first of all, let's just revise a little bit what CFA is. So CFA is a qualification awarded by the CFA Institute, and it validates expertise in investment management, portfolio management, financial analysis, and is highly valued by employers in different finance sectors. In fact, it's recognized by in different sectors like investment and commercial banking, asset wealth management, equity research, consulting and advisory sectors. Why this is a highly recognized and highly important for employers, but also for you? First of all, employer, because the CFA includes different topics in finance, like quantitative methods, investment, portfolio management, reporting, financial statement, ethics, and so on. All different topics highly important for a future, a career in finance. But not only recognize your preparation in finance, but also recognize something more, like your ambition, your discipline, and in particular, a commitment to a long-term career in finance. Why this? Because first of all, the CFA qualification has 3 different levels 1, 2, and 3. And in order to take the full CFA qualification, it takes around 3-4 years. This is what the CFA Institute is advising candidates. But what employers are looking for is someone that is committing to take them. In fact, these are data shared by the CFA Institute. Around 90% of executive and senior level investment management roles prefer candidates that have, so they hold the CFA level 1, or they are they are studying for it, they are preparing for it. So just showing your commitment is a big achievement, and this is also what will help you to stand out during an interview process, during a selection process among several candidates. And this is the main recognition for yourself. So not only to show that academic, you know very well the concept, but you have commitments in the finance sector and for a future job in finance. So how QUMMIF is helping you in doing that? So the School of Economics and Finance is affiliated with the CFA Institute. So all our programs, all our modules are designed in a way that they are keeping a bridge between the academic content, but also the practice, the real professional knowledge that you need for a future career. On top of that, we have also four programs, four master programs that have a CFA pathway. These programs are the Master in Finance, Investment Banking, Investment in Finance, and Behavioral Finance. Let's see the structure of these programs. So all the programs here you have, they are divided in 3 semesters. Semesters A and B, they are going just to build a strong foundation in finance, and you have some compulsory and elective modules. In particular, you will have 4 compulsory modules in semester A, where you're going just to strengthen your knowledge in, for example, like in quantitative methods, investment, corporate finance, valuation. Then in semester B, you will have 1 or 2 compulsory modules plus 3 elective modules. But what is going to change for those of you that is going to take the CFA pathway is semester C. Semester C is the summer semester, because there you will have the opportunity, and you have to take this opportunity to be part of the CFA training. This is a module organized by QUMMIF and by our school to prepare you for the CFA level 1 qualification. I will discuss this a little bit more in details later, but alongside to this, you will have also the opportunity to practice and your academic research knowledge by doing a dissertation project. If you don't want to do a dissertation project, you are happy, you can also decide to do a research project plus an elective module. But what is important here to highlight is that by taking the CFA pathway programs, you have an extra module that is called the CFA training. What is the CFA training? So the CFA training is a module taught by a practitioner. In particular, there are practitioners working for a consultants company that are preparing candidates worldwide, and in particular, candidates that are already working in the financial industry in preparing for their CFA level. So this will be a great opportunity for all of you to revise the main topics, but also to have this preparation at a very good, outstanding level. So by doing this CFA training, what you will have? You will have also a lot of advantages, like, for example, you will have essential studying package, you will have on-campus classes. They will provide you also a calculator, a financial calculator, because this is an extremely important point of the CFA program and the CFA exam. But they are going also to give you notes, mock exams, question banks, so everything to prepare your best for the qualification. Obviously, after this CFA training, you will have an exam an internal exam by QUMMIF, and then you can also apply for the certification itself. Obviously, by attending this training will help you to prepare, but then what is also important is your self-studying and your passion for it in order to successfully pass your level 1 CFA certification. And then also you don't have only the CFA training, but as I said before, how all the curricula are designed, the preparation is also starting with your modules in semester A and semester B. But what is also important to show to the employers is not only your academic skills, but also showing you some professional skills. And being a part of the CFA pathway, they're going to give you the opportunity also to participate to the CFA Institute Research Challenge. What is this? This is what is usually called as the Investment Olympics. So you can participate in different teams. So you can have a teams of your classmates and start working, having some experience in producing, for example, reports, analyzing data, build valuation models that as they do, for example, in investment banking and asset management. And then you are going to be evaluated from a panel of expert judges from the CFA. This will be very in line also with what the Professor Alfonsina Iona will explain you with the QUMMIF, but this is a real experience that you can use in your curriculum and also during the job interview process. When they're going to ask you a question, for example, about provide us an example of your finance experience or finance skills. This will be a great opportunity and what it will differentiate you from other students. Here, I just want to highlight, for example, that QUMMIF participates to these competitions. And in 2019, students from the School of Economics and Finance won the UK final and they advanced to the EMEA regionals in Zurich. So this is going to show you also how you can learn all this important knowledge during the masters, so during the different modules, but also with your CFA training module. And I just want to conclude here that why choosing a CFA pathway, but in general, why choosing a master in finance here in QUMMIF is, as I said before, because our programs and our modules are aligned with the CFA contents. We taught by internationally recognized finance academics and practitioners. So a lot of our modules are taught by practitioners, so people that are working in the financial industries, and they are showing you more the practical side of finance. Then we have also another excellence here in QUMMIF is that you can try to reduce the gap between the academic competence and the practical skills. You can join a diverse and global connected students community, and also to gain a master's that is well recognized in the financial industry. So here it's everything about the CFA presentation. If you have any questions, happy to answer them, or even at the end, as Nama before mentioned, we will have a Q&A session, so happy to discuss any questions that you might have about this.
Yes, thank you, Claudio. I'm sure that
Thank you very much.
our students would find it very handy that they have the chance to practice for a professional certificate while they are studying for their degree as well. So another highlight of our professional development modules is the QUMMIF, which is QUMMIF, where students will get the chance to get access to a real fund and make practical investment decisions. And that was led by Professor Alfonsina, and she'll tell us more what is it about. So yes, to you, Alfonsina.
Thank you very much. So first of all, I'll try to share my slides. Can you see my slides? Can you see my slides?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. I have been already introduced by my colleague. So my name is Alfonsina Iona, and I'm the director of the QUMMIF Master Investment Fund, and also the director of the Banking and Finance September Starter Program. So in this presentation, I will give you just a brief overview of what is QUMMIF. So the QUMMIF is an investment fund which has been opened in 2012 by our master students of investment and finance, and it is still alive, and it is a very successful experience and opportunity for the students to gain real world finance experience in investment, trading, and portfolio analysis. So first of all, what is the executive committee? So it is myself, the director of QUMMIF, Ilaria Piatti, director of Banking and Finance January program, Daniele Bianchi, director of the Master Finance and Machine Learning. From next year will be FinTech. Floris, a PhD Finance and Trading experience. Costantina is a PhD Finance and Data Science. If you want to know more, you can visit QUMMIF at the link QUMMIF, or you can watch the video which explains a little bit what we do in QUMMIF. Okay, so QUMMIF is a student, is a private limited company registered with the company houses. Is a student managed investment fund which has a responsibility of about £50,000 of investment. As I said, has been established by postgraduate students involved in investment and finance related master. It is an opportunity for the students to gain relevant practical work experience in valuation, research, market research, trading, and portfolio analysis. QUMMIF, as a company, adopt long-term investment strategies. So we buy assets and we hold the assets, and provides all the members the tools they need to analyze assets, to analyze the business sectors, to make an investment decision, and to manage a portfolio of assets. And it is also an opportunity for the students to understand what is the type of a career they want to push after the master program, because membership is open to all the students enrolled in our finance program at the School of Economics and Finance. We gave the opportunity to join to the students who are enrolled in joint programs between the School of Economics and Finance and the other school in QUMMIF. So QUMMIF is, why join QUMMIF? Well, QUMMIF is a one-year program which provide an excellent opportunity to acquire financial skills, to gain financial experience. QUMMIF also boosts your CV, increase your employability, the students' employability, thanks to the research study, but also to the networking opportunities which we provide with the finance professionally during the year. And during the QUMMIF, as I say, the students can explore what is the main job they would like to have in the future. I don't know, equity analyst, portfolio manager, asset manager, investment banks. What our students, our alumni said about QUMMIF? Well, some testimonials are these. One student said the QUMMIF was the only element making difference between myself and the other applicants during the job interview in the finance industry. Others said it was the experience that bridged the gap between the theory and the practice, providing me with the opportunity also to showcase my finance skills to finance professionals. QUMMIF discussion have become talking points during my interviews, and some students also emphasize the importance of teamwork experience within QUMMIF. Where are the QUMMIF alumni now? Well, majority of the QUMMIF members secured a job within 6 months from graduations. Some destinations were Bloomberg, HSBC, Moody's, Fitch Rating, Morningstar, Lombard, other investment managers. We have an alumni that just got a job last month. And many of these organizations are already involved with the QUMMIF because they are involved as a panel of judges, are involved in recruitment talks or events with the guest speaker, which we organize regularly during the year. What you will learn in QUMMIF? Well, many things. You will learn how to use Bloomberg, how to extract data from Bloomberg, how to measure performance analysis for assets, stocks, bonds, and ETFs. You understand how to use Bloomberg and also other kind of softwares to build the portfolio, to do backtesting, to understand the asset allocation models. You will learn technical analysis, fundamental analysis. You will learn how to do these things with Bloomberg. You will learn how to write an investment standard professional report, but also how to understand a portfolio report of the professional standards. And you will learn how to present in front of a panel of finance professionals, and of course how to work in teams. During the QUMMIF, you achieve a kind of different certificates. We have in place a training for the students to achieve the Bloomberg certificates. You know, Bloomberg has many certificates. We provide a training for at least the first two, the Bloomberg Market Concept and the ESG. During the QUMMIF, you will be trained by a portfolio manager, an experienced portfolio manager, who is at the same time an experienced alumni of Queen Mary. Will teach the students applied equity investment with Bloomberg. This module is also an elective from next year, and it is the essential training that the students are required to have in order to be successful in this QUMMIF experience. In QUMMIF, the structure is like that. We have at the top a member of academic staff, so myself and my colleagues you have seen in the first slides. Then we have experienced professional finance people or alumni, experienced alumni. These act as judge and supervisor of the different group of students. Members in QUMMIF are grouped in teams of 3-5 students, and in the group they work through all the activities during the year. So essentially how QUMMIF works, students choose an asset team, and they work in a small team of 3-5 students. Each member of the group has a role. The role could be equity analyst, lead analyst, senior analyst, depending on the experience and the skills of each member. Students register, and then they are required to work in team for the market research of the assets and to attend all the training during the year. Then at the end of the year, so let's say in June, students submit an investment report. This report is sent to a panel of finance professionals, which will act as a judge, and the panel of judges prepare a short list of the 10 best reports which are invited for the final presentation, the final competition, where the 3 winning reports are selected for real investment. And then this is a picture of the competition from last year. You can see all the students, all the members of the QUMMIF, and some teams presenting. So last year we had 3 winning teams, and we invested in those assets. Some of these alumni are still following and managing the portfolios, but of course this is a rolling over process which passes from one team to another team year by year. What are the benefits from QUMMIF? Well, QUMMIF is the only experience which provides you the ability to manage real money, so provides a hands-on experience on investment, trading, and portfolio management. During the QUMMIF, students develop crucial skills such as market research skills, financial skills, teamwork abilities, quantitative skills. QUMMIF enhance your career prospects because you have the opportunity to apply the theory you have learned during the masters and the opportunity to network with the finance professionals. Students, QUMMIF members have secured the prestigious role within the finance industry, and also QUMMIF provides a very dynamic, diverse and collaborative environment, and offer the opportunity to network with top finance professionals. We have asked the students what they thought about QUMMIF, and we had a very good feedback. 91% rated the QUMMIF experience at 9/10 or higher. 82% felt QUMMIF has increased their employability. 93% say the QUMMIF enhanced their skill set. 97% enjoyed the teamwork. 66% of students say the QUMMIF has contributed to their decision to apply to QUMMIF Masters, and 22% had already discussed the QUMMIF during a job interview. So as a result of the excellence of the QUMMIF in 2024 has received the award for education excellence by QUMMIF. So it was the winner of the prestigious QUMMIF Education Excellence Award for employability and for providing students real world finance experience. So that's all. Thank you for your attendance today, and we look forward to seeing you as the next generation of QUMMIF members and potential investors. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Alfonsina. I'm sure that is always exciting for students to see like a real investment happening, while also gaining useful professional experience along the way. So thank you for your presentation, and please stay on because we'll have a Q&A towards the end of the webinar.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and another highlight in our professional development modules is AmplifyME. So AmplifyME is our partner in integrating practical finance simultaneously into our master curriculum. And from AmplifyME today, we'll have Louis to introduce to us about this, and also to facilitate a little finance game for us in the webinar today. So as you can see, its work is about gaining professional experience, but when it comes to AmplifyME, some also say that it's a game. So yeah, let's start this game, and let's welcome Louis.
Great, thank you.
Just one
Can you
moment.
sorry, can you confirm if you can
Yes.
see my screen?
Yes, I'm adding the screen now. Yes.
Perfect. Okay, Great, thank you very much. So thank you for inviting me to this webinar today. It's great to be here. I will give you a quick brief overview of AmplifyME and the simulations which you get as part of your Masters at Queen Mary University of London, specifically within the School of Economics and Finance. So it is exclusive to this school and the MSc Finance cohort. So a little bit about me. My name is Lewis. I actually used to work at Queen Mary, so I used to work in supporting students with professional development as well, and I've continued supporting those students throughout this past year as well. My main role is actually to manage relationships with universities across different regions for AmplifyME and overseeing the day-to-day operations of the university's team. I deliver some market simulations as well, so things like asset management, hedge fund trading, and sales and trading. And also some career sessions. But previous to this, my work was in higher education. So if you want to connect to me on LinkedIn, please feel free. I can answer any questions as well, specifically about the AmplifyME simulations that you'll have access to. So a little bit about AmplifyME. So we are the market leader for finance simulations, and we have global partnerships with leading employers, just with some names at the bottom there. So JP Morgan, Evercore, Morgan Stanley, Citadel, Millennium as well. We have leading partnerships with these companies, and we develop our simulations in-house with these institutions. What we then do is we bring this across the fence to university students such as yourselves. And so you'll be getting realistic industry standard practical training, really actually good fun simulations as well, which help you to learn more and put your theory into practice to get you job ready for the future. For the finance institutions, we provide early careers training for both interns and graduates. We are starting more and more to use our data for talent identification and assessment, and we also do talent attraction. Our simulations are meant to be three things, really: practical, accessible, and assessed. So assessed in the way that you receive a full data-driven report after every single simulation that you take. So you're developing these role-specific skills and receive performance feedback to help strengthen your job applications. It's practical experience. It's something that you can put on your LinkedIn. It's something you can put on your CV. It's something that you can talk about in interviews and applications because you're living the experience of, say, a portfolio manager across a 2-hour simulation, which then you can then take across into your applications. It's accessible, so no prior experience is required. So if you've come from a completely different background, if you've not got a finance background, that's absolutely fine. We design it to be accessible and that anyone can try. And this brings on to the next point about pathways, is that you've got access to 3 key pathways identified as part of the finance sector. So you have access to market simulations, you have access to banking simulations. So if you're interested in investment banking or private equity, those are the ones for you. And if you're interested in learning about how machine learning is applied to different roles in finance, be that portfolio analysis, market making, or if you just want an introduction to how it is used in the sector, we have our quant pathway as well. It's really there to give you valuable insights into different career paths. Each simulation is live delivered and it's a 2-hour slot. So we have AmplifyME trainer there throughout who will then help you with any technical queries, some tips and tricks throughout the simulation to kind of give you a bit of guidance, or you can just kind of go on and do it as well without asking for any help. So it's there, it's designed to be accessible for you. The actual simulations themselves, there is an up-to-date events calendar and they're accessible for your whole studies. So from the September to the August, and you can experience multiple pathways. You're not just linked to markets, you're not just linked to banking. We'd encourage you to try as many as possible, just so that you can get an idea of the different roles in finance and also where your skills and your enjoyment might fit more. We don't want you to be then going into an investment banking career, working 80-hour weeks and not enjoying it, whereas you might have enjoyed markets a bit more. This is really what these simulations are about, and it's that ability to kind of really identify an effective career path for you. As well, you're not just limited to doing it in one term. You can retake a workshop. If you don't perform as well in semester 1, for example, you can retake the session in semester 2 or semester 3. And we'd encourage you to keep dipping it in throughout the year. The actual simulations themselves, so we've got about an hour of on-demand content for each pathway, but through the pathways, we add increasing layers of complexity. So for example, markets, we have portfolio management for level 1, and then hedge fund trading strategies for level 2, where we introduce short positions and reaction time to breaking news. And level 3, we have investment bank trading. For banking, we've got 3-statement modeling to give you kind of that groundwork, moving into company valuation, and then into private equity and leveraged buyout modeling. For quant, we have an introduction to Python and to quant finance, and then we move into using machine learning to automate market making and making prices. And then level 3, where we're automating portfolio analysis. And each semester as well, we have careers masterclasses and Q&As, which we have for students to kind of bring together that learning that you've done in the semester and then how you can use it in the future. We repeat each simulation 3 times per semester at least. So there's lots of opportunities to have a go throughout the academic year. We also have our market maker newsletter and podcast. So we send a newsletter each day out to students if they opt in. And this is there to provide you with kind of the background understanding of what's moving markets at the time and really delivering it in a student-friendly way. So if you get an interview, for example, you might be asked on something which has happened in the markets. So on Monday, that might have been, okay, what was the impact of the peace decision on the Iran war or kind of the opening of the Strait? You would then be expected to talk around that in the interview. If you haven't done your research, then you're not going to get very far in your interview. And that is exactly where our podcast and our newsletter come in. And it's there to help provide that background, commercial awareness and context for the simulations that you take. So we've got about 5 minutes, I believe. I don't want to kind of overstay my welcome too much, but we are going to have a quick game on your phones. So if you could please get your phone out, and if you could just go to your app store, so either Google Play, whichever app store you use, Google Play or App Store, the iTunes Store. If you please download Retrader and then sign up with any email and password of your choice. So I'll give you a minute or so to do that. And if any of our presenters would like to have a go as well, then that's absolutely fine. So if any of the Queen Mary staff want to have a go, we'll see how you guys can compare to your prospective students. Once you are on the app, you should see a folder which says Queen Mary Finance in Focus Webinar, so with the Queen Mary background. And there are 6 games on there. If anyone is having any issues, people are able to pop in the chat. It should just be very simple. Download the app, enter email and password of your choice, and then it should be there with the folder for Queen Mary right in the middle. On the actual app itself, you'll see that you have the ability to change your position size. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be retrading market moving events, so historic market moving events from a point in time. And you're going to be either going long or short in your chosen position. And there will be breaking news which comes out. So it's quite quick fire news. And you've got to decide essentially based on the sentiment of the news, whether or not you want to buy or you want to sell the stock. You can either use a line chart or a candle chart, whichever one is your preference, but it should be pretty straightforward. And you can change your position size on there. So what we are going to do, the first game we're going to play is tech stocks. So on the bottom left-hand side of the folder, the Queen Mary folder, you'll see the tech stocks game. If you click into that, then it will start the game automatically for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the live leaderboards on there. So it shows positive P&L only. Your goal essentially is to maximize the amount of profit that you make. So I'm going to get the leaderboards up now, and I'm going to see who is doing well. But if anyone's got any issues, please pop them in the chat. It should take a couple of minutes to complete the game, and then we'll go from there. If you turn your volume up as well, you'll hear the live breaking news come out. And this game is really just a taster of kind of the sort of markets games that we have. So when if you carry on and then you decide to study at Queen Mary, you'll have access to our simulations. So our portfolio management simulation, you would be reacting to breaking news over a period of an hour, and you'd be rebalancing your portfolio across different securities. So not just single stock trading, we'd be looking at equities, commodities, and fixed income. So this is really just a taster to get you understanding how global macro events move markets and change prices. I'm hoping I'm going to start to see some scores come through now. I'm not seeing any Queen Mary names yet. As a reminder, we're playing the tech stocks game in the bottom left corner of the Queen Mary folder for the Retrader app. Okay, we've got our first score through. It's from Nam. I'm wondering if any of our other attendees are having any issues or if they've not been able to play. Okay, I am very wary of time, just so that we can do the Q&A section. But what I have done is I can give you obviously access to the slides after this from Queen Mary. What you can do is you can have access to these games for the next 24 hours. So it would be until about 1:30 tomorrow, UK time. You will have access to 6 different games. What I would say is have a little go, see how much P&L you can make. What I will do is I'll share the leaderboards with Queen Mary afterwards there as well. So if you didn't get a chance to play today, what I would say is do have a go. And if you've got any questions about AmplifyME, or if you've got any questions about Pathways itself, please do just drop me a quick message on LinkedIn. More than happy to help with any questions or any queries. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Lewis. That was an insightful presentation, and I'm surely have enjoyed the game very much. It was an interesting game to try it out and to look at. So yes, now to wrap up the webinar, we'll come to our Q&A. So if anyone have any question for our speakers, please put them in the chat or in the Q&A section. Let's bring our speakers back to the stage. And the first question would be a question for Claudio. So do lots of students select the CFA pathway in our master's program?
No, the majority of students select the standard CFA, standard master program. However, those of them that are selecting the CFA, as I said before, they comment the feedback is that the program is, especially the CFA training, is very helpful, is giving them a lot of insights on also how to pass successfully the exam, the studying method for the exam, also all the material, the resources, and so they had a very good experience in taking the CFA. And then also what is good, also what is good that the CFA certification is globally recognized. So even if in the future you don't want, for example, to build your finance career here in London, but in another country worldwide, you will always have the opportunity to show the importance of the CFA qualification. So.
Okay, and for those that originally opted for a standard after enrolling in pre-Mary.
Exactly, yes. So you can choose later to do this. So the only difference at the moment of the enrollment between the CFA pathway and the standard master is just the fees. So what is going to happen is that you are just going um, to pay the difference, so will be slightly expensive. So you can find all the fees in the QUMMIF website. So you're going just to pay the difference if you want to opt for the CFA pathway. Since especially the CFA program, the CFA training module is in the summer, so you will have the entire year. So you have a couple of semesters before making your final choice. So you have time, and then all modules are good. Again, because the way on how we constructed the module, the syllabi, is always keeping in mind what is important for the CFA certification, but also with the practical skills that you need for your future career.
Great, thank you, Claudio. Thank
You're
you for the
welcome.
insights. So the next question we have is for Alfonsina. So can you tell us about an interesting project that we have done in QUMMIF?
Interesting project.
Yes.
Well, students have done, they do different interesting projects. Every team present an investment report of professional standard, and these investment reports are presented to a panel of finance professionals, 40, 50 finance professionals who will give feedback, and then they give a mark, they can give an assessment, they give a judgment, and the students will have the opportunity to present in front of them. Other interesting projects are we organize guest talks. So we invited during the year, we invited the finance expert to give a talk about particular topics in finance or their career path, and or advice to the students on how to undertake the career finance. So we do different things. So we have the social event, we have guest talks, and students studied all the entire year about how to produce, how to pick up an asset and to defend this asset and convince finance profession that this asset is good for investment. This is very important for them to gain real finance experience.
Oh, that's fascinating to hear. So let's say in QUMMIF last year, which who were the finance experts that we got in the program?
Well, I don't have, I don't have the name right now, okay? Because the finance professionals are about 40 people. These are the portfolio managers, equity analysts, asset managers from different companies over the world. So some of them come from London, some of them are in Spain, in Italy, in US, in Canada, and they connect online to the presentation. The companies, the assets who won the competition are on the website. I don't remember right now the name, but are on our page on the QUMMIF. Every year so they are uploaded there, so the students can see directly from the QUMMIF website.
Oh yeah, great. That's great. I mean, I think like the international exposure, like the range of international experience from the experts and also like their job titles is also something that the students are excited to look forward to. Thank you
Of
very
course,
much.
yes.
So a question for Louis. So do students participating in AmplifyME, do they ever end up working full-time for the companies they work with in the program?
So I don't have a list of all the alumni, so we have a broad range of alumni, but we do see people who go through and do our simulations go to leading financial institutions, yes. I think the main key thing is that it does open your eyes to the different roles. So this combined with things like QUMMIF, where you get like practical investment experience, and also with the commercial awareness that you develop from trying out different simulations, you do have a good chance of getting in. Well, you improve your chances of getting into these top firms, because firms do use us. They recognise that our simulations are accurate and industry leading. So yeah, I would say engage with as many programs as you possibly can whilst you're doing your MSc. Just to give yourself as much of a leg up as possible, because a degree nowadays is not just the only thing they look at, it's just expected. So anything that you can do to increase your skills and also develop your commercial awareness is incredibly important. But yeah, we do have a lot of our people who go through our simulations do go on to leading institutions.
Thank you, Luis. I also had a great time experiencing the simulation we have at AmplifyMe. So the last question is for Emelyn. So among all the professional development modules, what is the favorite among students at School of Economics and Finance?
It's a good question. To be honest, we have fantastic attendance across the board because a lot of our modules get recorded on students' year transcripts, which is their degree transcript. So this is something they like to show to employers that I've not just gone to class, gone to lectures, and gone back home. I've gone above and beyond my degree, and here's the evidence of all these amazing extracurricular professional development modules that I've participated in. But I think off the top of my head, probably the most popular would be applied portfolio management and applied equity investing with Bloomberg. Two reasons. Applied portfolio management because it's run by Patrick Boyle, who has quite a popular YouTube account, which I didn't know until I started my role here. So you might want to look him up on YouTube. He gives fantastic insight over economic, theories and what's happening in the real world. But yeah, very engaging lecturer, and students really enjoy seeing him in real life after watching him on YouTube for a long time. Applied equity investing with Bloomberg is really popular because that was embedded as part of QUMMIF this year. So we saw fantastic attendance over quite a long time. So students really enjoyed going to classes, learning practical skills. I think Alfonsina talked about how students learned very practical, real life stuff, how you can use the Bloomberg terminal, right? And these are examples of things that you can pull into interview. So yeah, I think those are the two most popular ones.
Yeah, I think it's lovely to hear that students have been active in our professional development modules across the board. And it's also, I'm also happier to hear that they do have a favorites during their time with Queen Mary. So that's the end of our webinar today. So once again, thank you to all the speakers for being here today, for your presentation, and to all the audience being here today. Thank you for participating in our webinar. I'm sure you have seen that there's so many ways to get started in the financial industry even when you're still studying. And all the things that we have talked about today are the ways we have been doing at Queen Mary. So if you're an offer holder, we look forward to seeing you this September. Or if you just started researching a master degree, then we hope to see you next September. Yep, thank you very much, and take care.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.